You are in your kitchen right now preparing dinner. You reach for the bottle of oil sitting on your counter, the one you have been using for months, maybe years. You heat your pan, you add the oil, and in that moment, something is happening inside that oil that you cannot see, cannot smell, cannot taste, but that is directly damaging the DNA inside every cell of your body with every single meal you prepare. I need you to listen to what I am about to tell you because this habit, this single daily choice that feels completely normal and completely safe, is one of the primary sources of DNA damaging compounds in the average American diet, and almost nobody knows about it. My name is Dr. William Lewis. I have spent 29 years studying the relationship between dietary compounds and cellular DNA damage, and I have watched the research on cooking oils and their effects on human health evolve from being completely ignored by mainstream medicine to being the focus of hundreds of peer-reviewed studies examining exactly what happens when you heat certain oils and consume the byproducts. The statistics that keep me up at night are these. The average American household uses one of 4 specific cooking oils that I am about to name. Oils that have been shown in multiple peer-reviewed studies to produce compounds classified by the Environmental Protection Agency and the International Agency for Research on Cancer as probable human carcinogens when heated above specific temperatures. Probable human carcinogens. Those are not words used lightly in the scientific literature. And yet these oils sit in grocery stores, are recommended on cooking shows, are used in restaurant kitchens across the country, and most people have no idea what happens to them when heat is applied. By the time this video ends, you are going to know exactly which 4 oils these are, the specific compounds they produce when heated, why those compounds damage your DNA, and exactly which oils to replace them with, starting today, starting with your next meal. And stay with me, because the compound that results from heating the most commonly used cooking oil in America is one that has been directly linked to Alzheimer's disease, to accelerated cognitive aging, and to increased cancer risk in multiple independent studies. Yet it is the oil in most people's kitchens right now. I want to tell you about a patient I will call David, 64 years old, retired chef from Denver. David came to me after receiving a diagnosis of early-stage prostate cancer that had surprised him completely. He exercised regularly. He did not smoke. He had no family history of cancer. He ate what he considered a relatively healthy diet. His doctors could not explain why, at 64, he was already dealing with this diagnosis. When I reviewed his dietary history in detail, one thing stood out immediately. For 40 years, during his entire career as a chef and continuing into his retirement, David had been cooking almost exclusively with vegetable oil. He estimated he was using a quarter cup to half a cup of heated vegetable oil almost every single day. He was not just consuming the oil directly, he was breathing the vapors from heated oil in his kitchen, absorbing the oxidation byproducts through his lungs as well as his digestive system. When I explained to him what happens to vegetable oil when it is heated, what compounds form, and how those compounds interact with DNA in your cells, he said something I will never forget. He said, if someone had explained this to me 20 years ago, I would have changed, but nobody tells you. You just assume that if it is in the grocery store, if it is recommended, if everyone uses it, it must be safe. That assumption is costing people their health. Let me explain the science because once you understand the mechanism, you will understand why this matters so much. There are several categories of cooking oils based on their chemical composition, and the composition determines how they behave when exposed to heat. All oils are composed primarily of fatty acids. Those fatty acids can be saturated, monounsaturated, or polyunsaturated, categories that describe the chemical bonds holding the fatty acid molecules together. Here is the critical detail. Saturated fats are stable at high heat. Monounsaturated fats are relatively stable at moderate heat. Polyunsaturated fats are unstable at high heat. When polyunsaturated fats are heated, their chemical bonds break down. They undergo oxidation, and during that oxidation, they form compounds called aldehydes, specifically acrolein, formaldehyde, and acetaldehyde, all of which have been classified by the EPA and the International Agency for Research on Cancer as probable human carcinogens. These aldehydes are highly reactive compounds. They do not pass through your body unchanged. They bind to proteins. They bind to DNA. They create what are called protein-DNA adducts, abnormal crosslinks that damage the genetic code and can lead to mutations. Mutations accumulated over months and years are precisely how cancer begins at the cellular level. This is not theoretical. This is chemistry. This is mechanism. This is why the research on cooking oils and cancer risk exists and continues to expand. The first oil you need to eliminate from your kitchen is vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is a generic blend, typically made from soybean, corn, or a combination of seed oils. All of these are extremely high in polyunsaturated fats, particularly linoleic acid. Vegetable oil has a smoke point of around 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Sounds high, but the average pan frying temperature in an active kitchen is 350 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. You are routinely heating vegetable oil to temperatures where oxidation and aldehyde formation are actively occurring. A study published in the journal Nutrition and Metabolism examined the aldehyde content of various cooking oils when heated to standard cooking temperatures and found that vegetable oil produced among the highest concentrations of toxic aldehydes of any oil studied, and vegetable oil is the most commonly used cooking oil in American households. The second oil you need to eliminate is corn oil. Corn oil is extremely high in polyunsaturated fat content, even higher than vegetable oil in linoleic acid concentration. It has a smoke point of about 450 degrees, which sounds like it would be safer. But here's what most people do not realize. Smoke point is the temperature at which an oil begins to visibly smoke. Oxidation and aldehyde formation begin well before visible smoke appears. A study published in the journal Food Chemistry examined corn oil heated to various temperatures below and at the smoke point and found significant aldehyde formation at temperatures well below the smoke point, at temperatures routinely reached in normal cooking. Corn oil, marketed as heart-healthy for decades, has been quietly producing DNA-damaging compounds in millions of kitchens every single day. The third oil is sunflower oil. Sunflower oil is extremely high in linoleic acid, even more linoleic acid than vegetable oil in many commercial varieties. It is unstable at heat. It produces high concentrations of aldehydes when heated, and it is increasingly common in grocery stores because it is marketed as a heart-healthy alternative to saturated fats. The marketing is not reflecting the chemistry. A landmark study from De Montfort University in the United Kingdom examined the heating of various oils and their aldehyde production at cooking temperatures. Sunflower oil produced among the highest aldehyde concentrations of any oil tested, approximately 4 times more aldehyde than olive oil when heated to the same temperature. 4 times. And the fourth oil, the one hiding in countless processed foods and also sitting in many home kitchens, is margarine and any oil-based spread made from partially hydrogenated vegetable oils. These products introduce trans fats directly into your diet, along with oxidized lipids that have already begun breaking down during processing. Trans fats, even in the small amounts listed as zero trans fat on labels through loopholes in FDA labeling, are directly associated with increased inflammation, increased DNA damage, and increased cancer risk in the published literature. These 4 oils, vegetable oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, and margarine, share one fundamental problem. They are composed primarily of polyunsaturated fats that are chemically unstable when exposed to the temperatures routinely used in cooking. When exposed to heat, they oxidize. When they oxidize, they produce aldehydes. When aldehydes enter your body through food and inhalation of cooking vapors, they bind to your DNA and create mutations. Those mutations accumulate. Accumulated mutations are how cancer begins. This is not speculation. This is biochemistry. This is the mechanism that researchers in multiple independent institutions have confirmed. Now let me tell you what to replace them with. For high heat cooking, searing, stir-frying, roasting at high temperatures, use avocado oil. Avocado oil has the highest smoke point of any commonly available cooking oil, approximately 500 degrees Fahrenheit. But more importantly, avocado oil is composed primarily of monounsaturated fats, the same type of fat found in olive oil. Monounsaturated fats are far more heat stable than polyunsaturated fats. When avocado oil is heated, it does not undergo rapid oxidation the way vegetable oil does. A study examining aldehydes produced by various oils at high cooking temperatures found that avocado oil produced significantly lower aldehyde concentrations than any of the 4 oils you are replacing. Avocado oil is your primary replacement for vegetable oil, corn oil, and sunflower oil in your kitchen. For moderate heat cooking, sautéing, light frying, cooking at medium to medium-high temperatures, use extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is primarily composed of monounsaturated oleic acid. It also contains polyphenols, compounds with their own anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. When extra virgin olive oil is gently heated, not to smoking point, but to normal cooking temperatures, it remains stable. The Mediterranean diet, the most studied dietary pattern for longevity and disease prevention, is built substantially on extra virgin olive oil as the primary cooking fat. The research supporting this is not marginal. It is comprehensive and consistent. For baking and applications where you need a neutral flavor, use real butter from grass-fed cows or coconut oil. Butter is composed primarily of saturated fat, the most heat-stable fat category. Coconut oil is also primarily saturated fat. Both are far more stable at baking temperatures than polyunsaturated oils, and both are composed of fats your body recognizes and can process efficiently. I need to address something directly because I know many of you were told for decades that saturated fat was bad for you and that you should replace it with vegetable oil. That messaging was not wrong because the science was wrong. It was wrong because the science on polyunsaturated oil oxidation and aldehyde formation had not yet been published in volumes large enough to change the narrative. The science has now caught up. The research is clear. Polyunsaturated oils used for high-heat cooking are a significant source of DNA-damaging compounds in the modern diet. This is the information you deserve to have. If this is the first time anyone has explained to you what actually happens to cooking oils when you heat them, and what compounds form, and how those compounds damage your DNA, please hit that subscribe button right now. This channel exists to give adults over 60 the information about your health that your doctor does not have time to explain. Every video is built on published research. Every video is designed to give you what your 12-minute appointment cannot. Subscribe now. I want to come back to David. 3 years after changing his cooking oils, replacing vegetable oil with avocado oil for high heat cooking and extra virgin olive oil for moderate heat applications, his prostate cancer progressed no further. His oncologist was surprised by the slow progression and the stability of his markers. When I asked David what he attributed this to, he said, "I cannot prove that the oils caused the cancer. But I can tell you that once I understood what I was doing to my body every single day with those oils, I could not keep using them." He has become someone who talks to everyone in his life about cooking oils. He carries a small card in his wallet that lists the 4 oils to eliminate and the replacements. He says, "If I can prevent even one person from spending 40 years damaging their DNA the way I did, then my cancer means something." That intention is what this video is about. That awareness, that choice to change, starting today. Here is your protocol. Specific, affordable, and beginning with your next meal. Step 1. Check your kitchen right now. Look at every bottle of oil you have. Are any of them vegetable oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, or margarine? If the answer is yes, do not finish this video before you decide what you are going to replace them with. Step 2. Purchase avocado oil for high-heat cooking applications. It is available in every grocery store. It is competitively priced with the oils you are replacing. Step 3. Purchase extra virgin olive oil for moderate heat cooking. Cold-pressed, first extraction varieties are ideal, but any extra virgin olive oil is better than what you are replacing. Step 4. If you bake, replace vegetable oil or margarine with real butter or coconut oil. Step 5. Replace one meal prepared with old oils with a meal prepared with the new oils. Then replace the next meal, then the next. Not all at once, not as a dramatic change, as a steady, deliberate shift in how you cook. This is not about perfection. You are not going to be perfect, but you are going to be significantly better than you were. And over months and years, that difference becomes measurable in your health markers, in your energy, in your disease risk. If this is the first time anyone has explained to you that the cooking oils in your kitchen are a significant source of DNA-damaging compounds, please share this video with one person over 60 in your life today, someone whose health you care about. You may not know whose life this information protects. Before you go, I want to ask you two things. First, write your age in the comments right now, just the number. The age of this community shapes every video I make, and I read every single comment personally. Second, which of these 4 oils have you been using the most? How long have you been using them? Tell me in the comments. Your answer often leads directly to the next video this community needs. And before you close this video, there is another video on this channel that covers the 5 hidden sources of polyunsaturated fat oxidation in your diet that you have probably never heard of, and the cumulative damage they are doing to your DNA every single day from sources that are not sitting visibly in your kitchen. Go watch it now. What you learn there completes the picture this video started. Your DNA is the blueprint of your life. It is worth protecting, starting with what you cook with. I am Dr. William Lewis, and I will see you in the next one.